I didn't know what this was until I got in touch with a few people who I'd reached out to, and I just thought it was just a bitter divorce. And when you start looking at the patterns which other people have experienced, I can kind of start to resonate what those issues are. So for me, it kind of started off as being stopped seeing my children at key times or at any times. So, you know, at Christmas I was prevented from seeing my children. I was prevented from seeing them, calling them, messaging them. When I was due to collect them, I was stopped with excuses of them being ill, excuses of them not wanting to see me, and that went on for months. I think the big one which has become apparent to me is around the false allegations which I've had made against me. Well, this is just the printed off stuff that I've got here. Obviously you can probably double this, maybe even treble it with the number of emails that, you know, if they were to be printed, would come off. In here is the court bundles, the evidence that I've submitted to the courts. I've done a subject access request from CAFCASS. This was done 2 years ago, and that's just 2 years of information that CAFCASS have got on me through my correspondence with them. We've got, you know, records here from Greater Manchester Police, who have been in touch with their Chief Constable around what they're doing to tackle false allegations. We've got letters here from MPs, every Secretary of State, Dominic Raab, Lucy Fraser, Alex Chalk, who I've written to, a number of other ministers. I'm a big believer that, you know, we get families out of court. You know, families, the marriage process is the only legal process, to my knowledge, in this country that has no exit clause. And marriage is a contract. So, you know, contractually, I think the government needs to help by changing that legislation to have, you know, a presumption of shared care as a starting point, a 50-50 starting point, where there's no safeguarding, where there's no issues, where it's practical and possible. That should be the starting point, and then you work back from there. I think where there's any allegations of domestic abuse in the family court, it can take CAFCASS 12 to 20 weeks to get involved, and by that stage a non-molestation order's been applied for, the other parent's been removed, and CAFCASS come along and see the after effects of that. If there's any domestic abuse in a public law setting or any other setting, the police have domestic abuse advisors, they have on-site triage within 14 days. And that should happen when domestic abuse allegations are made in the family court. There should be social workers within 14 days getting involved, picking underneath the layers to see, well, are these allegations genuine? And if they are genuine, so be it. But they should be tested to a criminal standard and not this civil standard that we have at the moment, because the evidence here shows that there is absolutely no concern from Greater Manchester Police about me, despite some very serious allegations that have been made against me.